Before we begin, I need you to hear this carefully. The woman you're thinking about right now has already revealed how she feels about you. You just didn't recognize the signs, and that's exactly why you're confused. There's a quiet pain in not knowing where you stand, in replaying conversations, overanalyzing her words, wondering if you imagined everything. And the truth is, most men don't fail because they're not attractive enough. They fail because they don't understand the language women actually use when they're attracted. So before we go deeper, take a second, subscribe to the channel, like this video, because what you're about to hear isn't surface-level dating advice. This is the psychology beneath her behavior, the things she does without realizing she's revealing everything. When a woman is truly attracted to you, she doesn't announce it, she leaks it. Through small, almost invisible shifts in how she treats you compared to everyone else. And if you miss those signals, you don't just lose the moment, you lose the opportunity she was silently giving you. Let me be honest with you. Attraction in women is rarely loud. It's subtle, controlled, sometimes even disguised. Because unlike men, women are wired to protect their emotional vulnerability. They don't chase openly, they invite. And that invitation? It comes through behavior most men completely overlook. You might think she's just being polite, just friendly, just nice. But there's a difference between a woman who is kind and a woman who is interested. One is available to everyone. The other is reserved, selective, and quietly intense. And here's the part most men don't want to accept. If she's not doing these things, it's not because she's confused or afraid. It's because the attraction isn't there. Women don't hide attraction from the man they truly want. They reveal it in ways that feel natural, effortless, almost involuntary. What you're about to learn will change how you see every interaction moving forward. You'll stop guessing, stop chasing mixed signals, and start recognizing the moments where she's actually opening the door for you, waiting to see if you're confident enough to walk through it. Because once you understand these behaviors, you stop being the man who wonders and become the man who knows. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men misinterpret attraction completely. When a woman is attracted to you, she starts to invest her attention in ways that feel consistent and intentional. She doesn't just reply to you, she prioritizes replying to you. There is a difference between responding and choosing to engage, and women show that difference very clearly in their timing, tone, and energy. You may notice she becomes more present in conversations, asking questions that go beyond surface-level topics. She starts remembering small details you mentioned days or even weeks ago, and that is not random memory, that is emotional investment. At the same time, her communication becomes slightly more personal. She may share opinions that reveal her values, her humor, or even her vulnerabilities, because attraction lowers her emotional guard in subtle ways. She begins to let you see more of who she actually is, rather than maintaining a purely neutral or guarded persona. Another key shift is that she creates opportunities to continue the interaction instead of ending it abruptly. She might extend conversations, find reasons to message you first, or react to your content in a way that keeps the connection alive. This is not coincidence. It is subtle pursuit disguised as casual behavior. And here is what most men miss entirely. She will adjust her energy to match yours when attraction is present. You will feel a sense of alignment in the interaction, as if the conversation flows more easily than with others. That ease is not an accident. It is a signal that she is comfortable and engaged enough to synchronize with your pace. When you begin to recognize these patterns, you stop interpreting her behavior through hope and start seeing it through reality. Attraction is not hidden. It is expressed through consistency, attention, and subtle effort that she would not give to someone she is indifferent toward. So if you notice her behavior becoming more consistent, more curious, and more invested over time, that is not something to ignore. It is something to respond to with awareness, confidence, and grounded presence. Because attraction grows when it is met with clarity rather than confusion. And when you understand this dynamic, you no longer chase signals, you recognize them, and you position yourself accordingly in a way that keeps your self-respect intact while allowing the connection to develop naturally and intelligently. Another powerful sign of attraction is something most men completely overlook: because it doesn't look dramatic on the surface. But it changes the entire dynamic of how she behaves around you. When a woman is attracted, she becomes more aware of how she presents herself in your presence. This isn't about superficial appearance alone, it's about subtle self-adjustment. You may notice she straightens her posture when you walk in, adjusts her hair, smooths her clothing, or becomes slightly more composed in her movements. These aren't random habits. They are unconscious signals of self-monitoring. When a woman values how she appears in front of a specific man, it's because his perception matters to her on an emotional level. Attraction activates a kind of internal awareness where she wants to be seen in her best light without directly stating it. She may also become slightly more expressive in her facial reactions. Her smiles may come more easily, her eye contact becomes more intentional, and there's a softness in her expression that wasn't as present before. That softness is not forced. It's a natural response to feeling safe and engaged. Another important layer is how she reacts to your presence compared to others. You'll often see a difference in tone, energy, and attentiveness. With you, she may appear more animated, more responsive, and more emotionally available. This contrast is one of the clearest indicators of attraction because women naturally allocate their energy differently depending on interest. But here's where many men misread the situation. They assume that because she is not being overtly flirtatious, there is no attraction. In reality, many women express attraction through refinement rather than exaggeration. It's not always loud, playful teasing or obvious signals. Sometimes it's subtle alignment, calm presence, and a quiet effort to be noticed without appearing to try too hard. This is intentional balance. She wants to be seen, but she doesn't want to appear as though she is seeking validation. So instead, she allows small behavioral shifts to communicate interest indirectly. And if you are observant, you will notice that her behavior around you feels slightly different than her baseline behavior with everyone else. Understanding this allows you to stop relying on exaggerated signals and start recognizing the quieter, more authentic indicators of attraction. Because what she doesn't say out loud is often expressed through how she carries herself when you are near. And that is where her true level of interest begins to reveal itself. One of the clearest psychological indicators of attraction is how a woman behaves when she is around you in a group versus when she is alone with you. When a woman is attracted, her attention naturally gravitates toward creating moments of connection that feel more personal, even in social settings. You may notice that she positions herself closer to you than necessary, angles her body toward you, or frequently directs her gaze back to you during conversations with others. This isn't random positioning, it's subconscious alignment. The human mind tends to orient itself toward what it values, and in social environments, a woman who is attracted will subtly prioritize proximity to the person she is interested in. Even when she is engaged with others, there will be moments where her awareness returns to you, as if she is quietly monitoring your presence. Another important behavior is selective attention. In a group, she may respond to others, but her reactions to you often carry more energy, more depth, or more consistency. She may laugh more genuinely at your comments, ask follow-up questions, or acknowledge your presence more frequently than others in the same environment. These are not exaggerated performances, they are natural expressions of interest filtered through social awareness. You might also observe that she creates small opportunities to isolate interaction without making it obvious. For example, she may approach you directly after group conversations, respond specifically to something you said, or find reasons to continue a one-on-one exchange within a larger setting. This is her way of testing comfort and building a more personal connection without drawing unnecessary attention. What many men fail to understand is that attraction often reveals itself through positioning before it ever becomes verbal. Where she stands, how often she looks at you, and how she distributes her attention are all forms of communication. Her body language in social environments is often more honest than her words because it operates below conscious filtering. When a woman is not interested, her energy disperses evenly across the room. There is no prioritization, no repeated return of attention, and no subtle effort to maintain proximity. But when attraction is present, you become a focal point within the environment, even if it appears subtle to everyone else. Recognizing this shift allows you to interpret group interactions with clarity instead of uncertainty. You stop asking whether she noticed you, because her behavior already answers that question. And once you begin to see these patterns, you understand that attraction is not just spoken or shown directly. It is reflected in how she organizes her attention around you in spaces where she has many other options. Another subtle but highly revealing sign of attraction is how a woman responds to your absence or slight withdrawal of attention. When a woman is not invested, your absence barely registers. But when attraction is present, even a small reduction in your engagement creates a noticeable shift in her behavior. You may observe that she begins to check in more, initiate conversations, or react to your presence after a period of silence. This isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about psychological attachment forming at a gradual level. When someone values your presence, your temporary absence creates a gap that they feel compelled to close. She might also become more attentive to your social activity, whether that's noticing changes in your behavior, your mood, or your availability. This heightened awareness is not accidental. It reflects that you occupy a meaningful space in her mental landscape, enough for her to notice when something about your pattern changes. Another important behavior is how she responds when you give less predictable energy. If you stop over-engaging, stop always being immediately available, or begin maintaining a more balanced presence, an attracted woman will often adjust by increasing her effort to maintain connection. This can show up as more thoughtful messages, more consistent engagement, or a noticeable attempt to keep the interaction alive. Attraction creates a subtle pull toward equilibrium. When she senses distance, she may lean in slightly to restore the connection. Not in an overwhelming or desperate way, but in a measured, socially aware manner that preserves her dignity while still expressing interest. This balance is important because women are naturally calibrated to protect their emotional positioning while still pursuing what they value. What you need to understand is this. Interest is often revealed in response to your behavior. If your presence is constant and predictable, her engagement may remain steady but not escalated. However, when your behavior introduces slight variability, an attracted woman becomes more engaged, more observant, and more intentional in maintaining the connection. This is not about manipulation or withholding yourself in unhealthy ways. It's about understanding that attraction is dynamic, not static. It responds to contrast, to presence, and to absence. And when you observe how she reacts to your shifts in attention, you gain insight into how much value she places on the connection. If she does not adjust at all, there is no emotional pull. But if her behavior subtly increases in response to your reduced availability, that is a clear indication that you are not just another option in her environment. You are someone she is emotionally registering and choosing to stay connected with. Now here is where everything comes together, and this is the truth most men never fully internalize. Attraction is not proven by a single signal, it is revealed through patterns. When a woman is truly attracted to you, her behavior will show consistency across time, not just in isolated moments. You will notice that her interest does not disappear and reappear without reason. Instead, there is a steady thread of engagement, even if it fluctuates slightly. She maintains contact, she responds with intention, and she continues to show up in ways that keep the connection alive. This consistency is what separates genuine attraction from temporary politeness or situational friendliness. Another key element is effort. When a woman is attracted, she invests energy into the interaction without being forced. She contributes to conversations, she adds depth, and she participates rather than passively receiving attention. This effort may not always be obvious or dramatic, but it is present in the way she communicates, the questions she asks, and the way she responds to you over time. You may also notice that she becomes more comfortable expressing her personality around you. This includes humor, opinions, and even subtle teasing. Comfort is not the same as attraction, but attraction often creates the conditions for comfort to develop more quickly. When she feels drawn to you, she begins to relax her social guard and reveal more of her authentic self. And perhaps the most important truth of all, she will treat you differently. Not in exaggerated or obvious ways that seek attention from others, but in quiet, meaningful distinctions that are only visible when you are paying attention. The tone she uses, the attention she gives, the way she responds to you versus others. All of these differences form a pattern that reflects her level of interest. At this point, you should no longer be relying on assumptions or hoping for clarity. You now understand that attraction is expressed through behavior that is measurable if you know what to look for. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So instead of overthinking mixed signals, start observing consistency. Instead of chasing validation, start recognizing patterns. And instead of asking whether she likes you, begin asking whether her actions align with genuine attraction. Because when a woman is truly interested, she doesn't leave you guessing forever. She shows it in ways that, once understood, become impossible to ignore.